Yep.
I'll pop out a little tray for you if you'd like to.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Adam,
Yes.
my name is Biniam.
Nice to meet you, baby.
Happy Wednesday to you.
And to you.
Thank you. Looks like you're starting your day pretty awesome.
Getting into it. Yeah.
Getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, Wednesdays used to mean something. By way of halfway through the halfway part of the week. But I think today it's kind of all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
What's it like for you?
Yeah, no, it's right. Every day sort of bleeds into the next.
Yeah. So you've been off work then too then? Okay. In a good way or in a way that's like, I can't wait to do
Yeah,
something?
no, I can't wait to get back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of like everyone else is sort of navigating uncertainty, right?
And, yeah, a little bit of boredom.
Oh, that too.
Right?
Yeah, that too. Although, I heard something from one of my riders that I thought was kind of thought-provoking, and they're like, right now, even though we may be struggling as we are, we may be finding out after the fact how much of a gift this season was, but we don't realize it in the present time, and it's usually in hindsight when we're like, well, shoot, I had that opportunity to do this or get this attended to, or all those dynamics,
I mean, it's still been productive, just in different ways, right? Doing the things that you didn't have the time for.
Yeah. And then I was reading a book recently.
And appreciating.
Yeah,
right?
that too.
Stuff more.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then there's the other element I was reading in a book about, they call it a scarcity economy. That's what it's called. So this wasn't on my radar before, but how even in this culture we're wired to think in terms of what we don't have, and so we're always thinking in terms of depletion. We're at a point that is like, I wish I had this more sleep, I wish I had more money, I wish I had, all these kind of expressions along the way, which kind of lends to the dynamic of never really being able to savor the things that we do have in life.
Exactly.
And being in that state of gratefulness too, right? So these thoughts sort of provoked me to say, I wonder what kind of change I need to do on my end to be able to capture at least the opportunity before I speak in terms of regret at some point later on the line.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I benefited from others' thinking. So that's why I love, access to these resources and things that help. When you are working, what do you do?
Sorry, mid-bite.
That's okay. Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
I'm in marketing. In digital marketing.
Cool. I'm trying to understand still a distinction between marketing and sales. So how would you...
Well, and there's a lot of lots of roles and things that are crossovers, or also you say the word marketing, especially in a town like Calgary, where it's a a big energy town, because energy marketing is not the same as what I do, which is consumer marketing, advertising, and things like that.
Okay.
So that's sort of more the distinction. Sales is more, I would say, one-on-one relationships.
Okay.
And you're a person talking to a buyer.
Right.
And you're working on that transaction.
Sure enough. Yeah.
What I do has more to do with websites and ads.
Okay. So dealing with corporations, kind of.
And on that larger scale, right? We might be marketing a whole bunch of products in a sale or something like that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So they tend to go hand in hand for a lot of organizations, but
I found it intriguing when I talked to some business people. Some work, between persons and their personal accounts and so on. Others deal with corporations. But then even as those deal with corporations, the intriguing part that I find is they're still dealing with people on that side. Right.
100%.
Like people who maybe represents an entity or something of the sort like that. But still, it's not a sort of less personal aspect, because you're still interacting with people who are sort of navigating and making decisions for even the market. When you think about the market moving, we have this ideal of something that is unfeeling and sort of does this thing, but the very basic components, it seems to me, are the people that that go into that too, right?
You are right. Yep. You're still dealing with humans every step of the way. Yep, absolutely.
You carry on a conversation very well while you're trying to eat. I didn't make that easy for you. Usually I'm intuitive to these factors, but today I was like, oh shoot. I just want my breakfast, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Are you a native here in Calgary, or
I am actually.
Okay.
I lived here for. I mean, originally I grew up in Edmonton.
Yep.
Moved to Calgary 10 years ago.
Sure.
But I just moved to Victoria.
No
last year,
way.
actually, yeah.
Seriously, so you're like not at home right now then?
Not anymore.
Oh,
It's weird
man.
kind of being back.
I was gonna say, eh?
Right?
Do you miss it here, or are you thrilled in Victoria?
Yeah, I love Victoria.
You do. It's a beautiful place, eh?
Yeah. Of course, there's stuff I miss here.
Sure.
Mostly the people.
Yep.
Right? Those
Yep.
relationships.
For
that I
sure.
have here.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not quite at that phase yet where I've been away long enough that the city starts to feel foreign to me.
Yeah.
But it's still, right, I'm still sort of floating around, right?
Absolutely.
I don't have a home
Yeah.
here.
I hear
It's
you.
weird.
Oh, it must be. It must be.
But if I go back to Edmonton,
Yes.
right, it's very distinctly, not
Unfamiliar.
my home anymore.
Right.
It's sort of unfamiliar in certain ways.
I can relate, because that's how I feel when I go back to my hometown right now.
Mm.
Had lovely memories there. It was just a beautiful place, but I've moved on now in such a way whereby, yeah, I just don't relate anymore there.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
you
can't
don't feel
find my
that.
place there. I still have friends there, wonderful relationships and so on, but were I to go back there, I would feel like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
And then I feel even more so in a place that I always thought I would never feel, and that was when I was in high school, for example.
Mhm.
I used to be in high school, and I thought, this is my place, this is my people, and so on. And yet, as a result of not being in high school for a very long time, it's just unfamiliar now for me.
Right?
Where I had to go back there, I've got my picture, I'm sure, on the wall and everything, and yet it's like, this is not, I'm so out of my element here,
And I haven't been back in ages and ages, but I do remember having to go to my high school for there was some event or something like that, right? That was there.
Mm.
And it felt weird. Like everything seemed smaller than I remember.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
school, like the hallways felt, foreign.
Yeah,
it was-
totally. I probably feel the same way if I went back to my university too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how, I guess testament to how adaptable humans are, right? The fact that
Totally.
you can,
And then when you ask if you'd ever go back to those places, I'd probably say no, because like,
I'm with you on that one. I think some people want to go back,
okay,
but I'm a move forward. I'd rather go somewhere new.
Yeah.
I guess is the way I word it. When I had
Right.
friends say, "Would you ever move back?"
yeah,
My answer is almost always
maybe not.
no, because I'd move to a new city
Okay.
instead or something. Like if
Yeah.
I ever wanted to leave Victoria,
Yeah.
it would be a new adventure.
Victoria, like I grew up in BC,
Mm.
and I'd never been to Victoria until about 5 years ago.
Ah.
And that's when I was like, I've heard about the beauty here, but man, it
It's
is
cool.
something, So yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool sort of more lifestyle focused
Yeah.
city, right?
Yeah.
Not so much live to work, but
Sure.
work to live kind of attitude.
Yeah. I could totally see that.
I remember some of the first people we'd meet, and we'd go, having a coffee or a beer with someone and
Mm-hmm.
meeting someone new, and invariably the question, "What do you do?" comes out. And when I was fresh from Calgary, where it is very much a work city,
Yeah.
a work lifestyle,
Yeah.
and so I started answering with my career.
Sure.
And at one point, the person interrupted me and was like, "I'm sorry, like that's not really what I was getting at. I want to know, what do you do?" And I was like, "Man, is
That's
that
the
ever
distinction.
refreshing?" Kind of, right?
Yeah.
It was more about like, yeah, do you enjoy the outdoors?
That's
Do you
a
play
really-
sports? Do you like music?
Yeah.
Because you're more,
That is a great distinction.
yeah,
That's a great
I was like, well, I'm
distinction.
more than just my career. I think
Yeah.
everybody is,
For
even
sure.
if you are very career oriented.
Mhm.
Humans are dynamic, so it was just this
Totally.
really cool
That is
sort of
really
eye-opening, right? To the
perspective, really,
yeah,
right?
perspective.
Oh,
yeah,
totally. That is awesome. So I got a question for all that is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What I do when I'm not Ubering,
Mhm.
I've recently got into social media, and my main investment there is sharing what could be socially with people. What could be as far as opportunities to connect with people
Hmm.
that you're seeing along the way. I think I'm an immigrant And one of the things I've noticed in my experience here in this country over 3 decades now is just fantastic opportunities that sort of make the difference between savoring one's existence and place in life versus not, kind of thing.
Okay.
So, the request I'd like to make of you, but before I do, I totally would also appreciate the dynamic where you don't feel comfortable. These kind of unexpected moments, I love sharing on my platform. I find they're so encouraging to people as they're like, this inspires me to be like a little bit better in my own context, to look for those opportunities that I do have in my own life. With your permission, I would love to share our time together on my platform if you're willing. It's not everyone's cup of tea though.
Okay.
Not everyone's cup of tea. And so that's why I lead with that, hey, I really value I like the idea, but I'm not the right person for it,
Okay.
if that's what you feel. How do you feel about the option of me sharing our time together and saying, here is those moments that come along where you just are helped a little further in your own existence going forward. Do you feel comfortable with that dynamic?
What is tell me a bit more, what is the
Absolutely. Right now I'm on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
My followers there are really encouraging me to transition onto YouTube because they're like, you can post longer spells on YouTube instead of the shorter clips that I'm posting on TikTok right now. And basically, my gist is, how can we connect, look for those opportunities given your varying personalities, to see those people in your life that you come across, whether